How's it going, everyone? Clayton here at etrailer.com. Here at eTrailer, we install, test, and review a lot of different products to help you as a customer make a more educated decision before your purchase. Today, we are going to be working on a 2020 Nissan Rogue. We're going to be taking a look at, and I'll be showing you how to install, CURT's Class 3 trailer hitch receiver. Adding a hitch to the back of your Rogue is going to be a great upgrade. We can get a bike rack back here, get our bikes on the back of our vehicle versus in our trunk. We're going to get the ore off of our roof. Then you can use it for a cargo carrier, get some of that extra luggage or coolers out of the inside, making more room for your passengers, and you're even going to be able to tow a trailer. This is what our trailer hitch receiver is going to look like installed. It looks pretty sharp on the back of here. The only thing you're going to be able to see is going to be your receiver tube. The cross tube is totally concealed, so it looks like a factory hitch and keeps that nice sporty look. Our hitch is going to be a steel construction, so it's going to hold up really good for a long time. It has a really nice black powder coat finish, helping to resist rust and corrosion as well. So it's going to hold up really well for a long time and look good for a long time. We are going to get a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, so this is going to be a very common size, making it easy to find hitch mounted accessories. We are going to have a standard 5/8 inch pinhole. You want to keep in mind a pin and clip do not come included with this kit, but you can find one here at eTrailer. And we are going to have the rolled style safety chain loops. Personally, I like the way they look, and the best feature about them is they're going to work with a lot of different safety chains. So you're not going to have to worry about switching out your chains to work with your trailer. And another feature that I like is going to be this reinforced collar. It gives it a nice finished look while also adding some stability. Now we can get some measurements for you just to help you understand where this hitch is going to sit on the back of your Rogue. From the ground to the upper part of our receiver tube is going to be about 12.5 inches. And this number is important for ground clearance and to know if your ball needs to be in the raised or lowered position. Our next important measurement is going to be from the center of our pinhole to the outermost part of our fascia. And in this case, we're looking at 4 inches, and this number is very important for any folding accessories because you want to make sure that they aren't making contact with the rear fascia. As far as our weight capacities are concerned, we are going to have a 3,500 pound towing capacity. You do want to keep in mind that's going to be the weight of the trailer and the load included on the trailer. Looking to our tongue weight rating, we are going to have 525 pounds of tongue weight rating, so that's going to be 525 pounds pushing straight down on your receiver tube. Now it's very important you check with your owner's manual and make sure that your Rogue is capable of towing at those capacities, and if it's not, always go with the lowest number between the two. And just to touch on installation a little bit, it's really not too bad. There's no major drilling, cutting, or welding. All we have to do is open up one hole, and then on our passenger side, a couple of bolts are hard to get to, but it's definitely something you can do at home. With that being said, we can take a look at the installation now. To start our installation, we're going to have two 10mm bolts that we need to remove on the front of our emissions canister. If you come to the passenger side rear, you're going to see this canister right here. There's going to be two of those 10mm bolts located on our frame rail. So we'll just get those taken off. We're going to have one more 10mm bolt located on our frame rail right behind that canister. We are going to need to bend the corner of our heat shield down a little bit, just like so. That's going to allow us to get to this other 10mm bolt right here. We now need to remove our tow hook. It's going to be fastened to our frame rail with 6 18mm bolts. There's going to be 3 on the side and 3 on the bottom of our frame rail. With our tow hook removed, we will not be reinstalling this. Moving over to the driver's side, we're going to need to enlarge our access hole to get our hardware through. When you look at the frame rail, we're going to have a weld nut right here by our exhaust hanger. We're going to be enlarging this hole. You can do this with a die grinder bit, or in my case, I'm going to use a step bit. It's just a little bit easier to control. And when you go to enlarge your hole, it might be easier if you lower down your exhaust a little bit. Just going to remove it off of this hanger using a pry bar. You want to make sure to support it with a cam buckle strap. With your hole opened up, you want to make sure that your carriage bolt fits through there, and in our case it does. Now you want to make sure to hit that with some clear coat or black paint or anything you have around to keep that from corroding. We're now ready to fish wire our hardware. We're going to be using this hole and this hole. To start, we're going to use our hole furthest away from our access point. We want to thread the coiled end of our fish wire into that hole and then bring it out through the hole that we just enlarged. With our fish wire through, we can add our spacer block and then thread on our carriage bolt. We're going to make sure to hold on to the other end. Then we're going to slide our spacer block through our opening, followed up by our carriage bolt. We're going to pull that through the back hole. We're going to repeat that same process for this hole right here. On our driver's side, we're going to be using our existing weld nut with our new bolt and our conical tooth washer. You want to make sure that the teeth on the conical tooth washer are facing up towards the hitch. And on our passenger side, we're going to be reusing our factory hardware. Now with an extra set of hands, we can lift our hitch up into position. We want to make sure to feed our fish wires through the according holes in our hitch. And then we can lift that up into position. And on our driver's side, we're going to pull off our fish wires. We're going to grab one of our flange nuts with the flat side facing our hitch. We'll just carefully thread that onto our hardware. We'll repeat that same process for our rearmost bolt. With all of our hardware started, we're now ready to come back on our passenger side and tighten everything down. We're going to be using an 18mm socket. And on our driver's side, we're going to be using a 19mm socket. We are now ready to come back and torque down all of our hardware. All of our torque specs can be found in our instructions. We are now ready to reinstall all of our components in the reverse order we took them apart. With all of our components reinstalled, we're now ready to hit the road. That's going to do it for our look at and our installation of CURT's Class 3 Trailer Hitch receiver on our 2020 Nissan Rogue.